In today's video, I'd like to share with you the 4 stages of awakening. These stages have been shared by many top leading experts, and today I'd like to discuss them in more detail. I'll be explaining them from my own personal growth and spiritual journey and my own experiences. Now, I want you to understand that everyone is navigating through life in the best way they can. Some people have taken in the resources that were presented to them, and others haven't. Many are accepting the life they are in, perhaps not because they want to, but because no one has ever shown them an alternative way of living. Maybe they have just given up looking for solutions in life, and therefore have shut down the opportunity to grow and prosper. There are other people though that have a knowing, a sense that there is much more to life, and that has been my case for years and years. I searched and searched for a better way of living, for ways to expand my knowledge, to grow in all areas of my life, to heal the pain, and most importantly, I learned to reconnect with my inner powers, and I am here to tell you that you can do so too. So let's begin with the stage number 1, the victim. Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Raquel Lopez, and in today's video I will be sharing with you stage number 1 of the awakening process. Let me begin by saying that the only difference between someone that's successful and someone who isn't is that the successful person takes action. The successful person acts upon its desires. The successful person utilizes the resources that are presented to them, and the unsuccessful doesn't. It is the non-conformists who, despite the odds, seek to live a more meaningful life. The universe is always expanding, and you are part of the cosmos, the universe. Hence, regardless of where you are in life right now, change is possible. I have broken down the 4 stages of awakening into short videos so that it is easier for you to identify patterns of behavior that may need addressing. This is important for your well-being because without awareness, no healing can take place. People that are at the stage number 1 are completely unaware of who they truly are. They may associate themselves as a physical body, but that's about it. People that walk on planet Earth living in a hypnotic trance are unaware of the words they use, the stories they keep repeating during conversations, and they keep doing so because their subconscious mind is running on autopilot. The victim navigates through life in habitual mode. As the amazing Oliver Napoleon Hill describes it, you are on the beam negatively when using the hypnotic rhythm force. What this means is that the victim's operating system button is set on default mode. These individuals are unaware that the people they are attracting into their lives is a result of their thinking and belief system. Their bodies are vibrating at a very low frequency, hence attract people whose vibration is also very low. They are aligned to that vibration, and life is presenting them with events that match their internal state. In stage 1, people focus predominantly on the negative. The modus operandi in the way they think, act, talk, and navigate through life is that of a victim. Everything is happening to them instead for them. In stage 1, the victim hasn't yet learned about subtle energies that govern life or how to work with their bodies in a manner that's more beneficial for their well-being. In stage 1, a person engages in conversations and uses a tone of voice and words that represent blame. This and that has happened to me and therefore I am this way, or I've always been that way. It is always the fault of someone or an external factor. They prefer to latch onto these stories because, let's be honest, change is difficult. One of the rules of the mind is to move us from a place of pain to that of pleasure. So not changing the situation feels more pleasurable. In stage 1, the person receives inspiration from the divine, but is unaware of it as they are more preoccupied in other activities that have become habitual. People in stage 1 have difficulty setting boundaries, saying no, they may feel guilty, and have trouble putting their needs first. They are also unaware of their desires, they do not know what they want in life, they may not even have goals, and spend the majority of their time watching news, watching movies, complaining about how bad the world is, and do too little to evolve. In other words, they moan, criticize, and see the negatives, and have little vision for the positive. Here's an example if your aim is to improve your health and well-being. Ask yourself, what can I do to improve my situation? The answer might be something like this. I could pay a specialist who works privately so that I get a better care, better treatment. I could set myself a goal and work towards achieving it. I could research 5 different private consultants to assess my health. I could invest in a personal development program or a life coach. Then you ask yourself, what do I need in order to get this done? Let's say that the answer is money. Well, then you ask yourself, how well am I doing with money? If the answer is, my finances are in check, cool. Then you can invest in your well-being and pay someone such as a dietitian, a personal trainer, a mindset coach, a functional therapist, etc. to get you there. If the answer is, my finances aren't great, cool. Then setting a goal to improve your finances would therefore be a priority so that you can invest money to improve your health and well-being. That's the biggest goal. Doing nothing isn't an option. And although there are tons of stuff that we can do for our health and well-being that don't require any money, we always need people to push us farther in our personal development. People that are ahead of the game. Being in stage 1 isn't much fun. In fact, it feels pretty awful. It is confusing, there is no motivation, no aspirations, no joy, no inner peace, and no freedom. Always remember that we see what we believe. Let me repeat that. We see what we believe. And now, let me give you 7 tips to help you move through these stages. Tip number 1. Have a gratitude journal at hand and write 3 to 10 things you are grateful for on a daily basis. I recommend you do this first thing in the morning as you wake up or last thing at night before you go to sleep. Tip number 2. Write down your desires. Write about what you want to do, be, or have in your life. This list is going to be big, something between 100 to 5,000 items. I like adding items to my list as I go along. Tip number 3, pay close attention to the words that you're using when talking to yourself or others. Tip number 4, write down your triggers. What triggers you? Is it people? Is it queuing at the supermarket? Is it when you see your husband leaving the socks on the floor? Is it your child jumping up and down, throwing things? Is it people being careless? Write them down. Tip number 5, schedule time to be in silence and on your own with no distractions whatsoever. How you do this is entirely up to you. Tip number 6, write a list of the people you are surrounding yourself with and pay close attention to the conversations you are having with them. Tip number 7, set yourself some goals. I recommend you set 3 for the year, 1 for each key area of your life. You can use the Wheel of Life, which you can download completely for free of charge. It is in the description below. So that's it from me today. I will be covering stage number 2 on the next video. So until then, experience love, peace, and joy.